Listen up, you lot. Are you tired of the same old boring breakfast routine? Do you find yourself reaching for that sugary cereal knowing it's doing nothing for your body? Well, get ready to elevate your morning game because we're about to crack the code on 4 excellent breakfast recipes that will make you want to jump out of bed. Right, you donkey. Let's get started with a recipe that's both impressive and dead simple. Trust me, you'll want to make this every weekend. First, grab yourself a potato, and for heaven's sake, pick a decent one, not some sad, sprouting thing from the back of the cupboard. A good potato makes all the difference. Wash it, skin on, and slice it thin. The thinner, the better for that perfect crisp. Now, get those slices in a pan with a bit of oil. We're frying, not deep frying, so don't drown the bloody thing, just enough to get them golden and crispy. While the potato crisps up, finely chop your onion. A sharp knife will make this easier and safer. We want it translucent, not burnt, so keep an eye on it. Stir occasionally to avoid any sticking. Once the potato is almost cooked, toss in that onion with a pinch of salt and let it sweat. This will bring out the sweetness of the onion. Next, chop up your bell pepper. Any color will do, but for God's sake, make sure it's fresh, not wrinkled and limp like an old dishcloth. Freshness is key for that vibrant flavor. 1 minute in the pan with the potato and onion, then turn off the heat. Now, the eggs. This step is crucial for the final texture. Separate the yolks from the whites. Don't you dare tell me you can't do that. It's easier than you think. Just take your time. Mix those whites with the potato mixture, a dash of your favorite spices, and just a spoonful of flour to bind it. This will give it a nice structure. Get that pan back on low heat and pour in the mixture, creating little wells for those beautiful yolks. Make sure the wells are deep enough to hold the yolks. Cover and let it cook for 3 to 5 minutes. This will set the whites and start to cook the yolks gently. Time for a flip. Careful now, wouldn't want to make a mess. Use a wide spatula to keep it intact. Gently place those yolks in their little nests, cover again, and another 3 minutes. This will give you perfectly runny yolks. There you have it, a breakfast fit for a king, or at least someone who appreciates a bloody good breakfast. Enjoy every bite. Now, for those who like a bit of a kick to start their day, this one's for you. We're diving into a delicious and spicy Thai-style scrambled eggs recipe that will wake up your taste buds. Crack your eggs into a bowl, 2, 3, depending on how hungry you are, and season them generously with salt and pepper. The seasoning is crucial to bring out the flavors. Whisk them up, but don't go overboard. We're not making a souffle here. Just enough to combine the yolks and whites smoothly. Get those eggs in a hot pan with a touch of oil and cook them through, but keep them soft. Set them aside once they're just cooked, as they'll be mixed in later. Now let's get those potatoes going. Fresh potatoes add a hearty texture to our dish. Dice them up and make them even. You wouldn't want some undercooked, rock-hard monstrosity ruining your breakfast, would you? Consistency is key. Sauté those cubes in the same pan until they're golden and crispy, about 5 to 7 minutes depending on your stove. The goal is a nice, crispy exterior. While they're cooking, chop up your bell pepper. Again, freshness is key here, people. Fresh bell peppers add a sweet crunch. Add it to the pan with the potatoes and cook for just a minute on low heat. This helps the flavors meld together. Tomatoes are next. Chop them up, but don't bother seeding them. We're not making a Michelin-starred dish here. The juices add to the flavor. Toss them in the pan, season with salt and pepper, and give it all a good mix. Make sure everything is well coated. Cover and let it simmer for 3 to 5 minutes, just until those tomatoes soften up a bit. This will create a lovely, cohesive mixture. Now here's where the magic happens. A good dollop of Thai chili sauce. This is what gives the dish its signature kick. Don't be shy. Add as much or as little as you like, depending on your tolerance for heat. Adjust to your personal preference. Finally, gently fold in those cooked eggs and mix everything together. Be careful not to break the eggs too much. There you have it, a taste of Thailand to kickstart your day. Enjoy this vibrant and flavorful breakfast that's sure to spice up your morning. Chapter 3. Cauliflower fritters with a punch. Alright, you healthy lot, this one's for you. Get ready to make something that's both nutritious and incredibly tasty. Don't think for a minute that healthy means boring, because these cauliflower fritters are packed with flavor. They're crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. First, chop up your cauliflower. And for God's sake, make sure it's fresh, not smelling like it's been sitting in the back of the fridge since last week. Freshness is key to getting that perfect texture. Boil it in salted water for about 5 minutes, just until it's tender. This step is crucial to soften the cauliflower without making it mushy. Don't overcook it, or you'll end up with mush. We want it to hold some shape. Drain it well and give it a quick mash. We're not looking for baby food here, just breaking it down a bit. You should still see some small chunks. While the cauliflower is boiling, finely chop your onion. This will add a nice crunch and a burst of flavor. And when I say finely, I mean finely. The smaller, the better. None of those chunky bits that get stuck in your teeth. We want a smooth, even texture. Next, crush your garlic. Fresh, of course, none of that pre-minced rubbish. Fresh garlic will give a more robust flavor. And finally, chop up some parsley. Just a handful to brighten things up. It adds a fresh, herby note. Add all of this to your mashed cauliflower. Now, for the spices. This is where you can really make it your own. A good pinch of salt and pepper, obviously. These are your basic seasonings. But don't be afraid to experiment. A dash of cumin, some smoked paprika, maybe even a bit of chili flakes if you're feeling adventurous. These spices will add depth and a bit of heat. Add a spoonful or two of flour, just enough to bind it all together. This will help the fritters hold their shape. Mix it all up well. Make sure everything is evenly distributed. Get your pan nice and hot with a drizzle of oil. This will ensure a crispy exterior. Spoon in the mixture, forming little fritters. Try to make them uniform in size for even cooking. Don't overcrowd the pan, you want them to crisp up nicely. Give them space to breathe. Cook each side for about 5 minutes on medium heat until they're golden brown and cooked through. Patience is key here. There you have it. A healthy and delicious breakfast that's sure to impress even the biggest skeptics. Serve them hot and enjoy every bite. Chapter 4. Simple tomato and egg skillet. Now, for those mornings when you're short on time but still want something delicious and satisfying, this one's your go-to. Chop up your tomatoes and make sure they're ripe. None of those hard, flavorless ones. Get them in a hot pan. No oil needed here. We want those tomatoes to sweat out their juices. Cover the pan and let them cook on low heat for 3 to 5 minutes, just until they soften up a bit. While the tomatoes are doing their thing, crack your eggs into a bowl. 2 should do it, unless you're some kind of bottomless pit. Don't even think about scrambling them. We want those yolks intact like little golden suns. Grab your unsalted butter, none of that margarine rubbish, and add it to the pan with the tomatoes, along with a good pinch of salt and pepper. Give it a good mix, making sure that butter melts into all those lovely tomato juices. Now gently slide those eggs into the pan, nestling them amongst the tomatoes. Sprinkle a bit more salt over those beautiful yolks, just to season them perfectly. Finally, chop up some parsley. Fresh, of course, we're not animals here, and sprinkle it over the top. There you have it, a simple yet incredibly flavorful breakfast that's ready in minutes. Outro, now get cooking. There you have it, you lot. 4 excellent breakfast recipes that are guaranteed to get your day started right. No more excuses for grabbing that sugary cereal or skipping breakfast altogether. These recipes are simple enough for even the most hopeless cook, but with flavors that will impress even the toughest critic. Now get out of my kitchen and get cooking.